Hello everyone. We have something a little bit unusual for you today. I'm out on the Hatfield McCoy trails up on Death Rock. Real beautiful little place. We've got a whole nother video about this place. As a matter of fact, it's in one of our older videos a couple months ago about the legend of Death Rock. But if you want to check that out, go ahead and check it out. Now, we're not really here about Death Rock today. Our subject today is a little bit bigger. Normally, we go to, a historic site, a graveyard, whatever, tell you about the history of that place and that sort of thing. Our subject today is a little bit bigger. Our subject today is an entire town. And it just happens to be my hometown. So it's one a subject I happen to know just a little bit about. Now, like I said, we're up on top of Death Rock in Williamson, West Virginia. Excuse me. Now, this is just a few miles down the river from Mountaineer, where Devil Ants lived and all that good stuff, and right across the river where Randall lived. But this is the town of Williamson from Death Rock. And they got the swing up here. There's 9 of these in the state of West Virginia. They put these up. Scenic places, real pretty places, Instagrammable moments, take your picture, that kind of thing. Like I said, this is a subject that I happen to know a little bit about because this is my hometown. I was actually born right, I don't know if you can see that gray building right there, the old hospital. That'll be one of our stops in a little while. But I was actually born right there. We used to come up here and camp a lot when I was kids. We'd camp. There's a little cave about halfway down this cliff. We'd camp. I just thought I'd bring you up here and show you the place. Now, Williamson, it has a very rich history. Not just Hatfield McCoy's, that sort of thing. There's a story, the old courthouse right down here, and I'll show you in a few where the courthouse is now. Cab. He gets on a horse and he comes down here, middle of the night, and he ties his horse off to the bars on the jail window. He rips the bars out of the window and breaks Elias out. Great big jailbreak. Just like in the old Western, just the cliche. I'll have to look into that. I don't know if it's ever actually been done anywhere else for real. It actually really was done here. He really did do that here. But it's also famous for a whole bunch of other stuff. It's famous for the Hatfield McCoy trail system right now. This is Buffalo Mountain. So we get tourists, like crazy. In 2021 alone, our tours, tour business, we had 8,000 trail riders just last year alone. Just us. Just, me and Heather and I. Just the two of us. But, it predates a lot of that. The history of the town, predates that, obviously, by a couple hundred years. This used to be an Indian village at one time. Before that, it was a great big cornfield. This was all cornfield. We'll head down here in a second, and I want to show you a few really cool places down in town. Some of the historic stops. You can see the old depot, matter of fact. The old depot right there. No, wait, there. Yeah, no. I'll get him in a second. There. Now, that is the old depot. Just thought I'd show you a little bit back down, show you some of the trail on the way back down since I was right here anyway. Check this out, how pretty this is. Now, this is my job. This is what I do for a living, right, y'all? I ride around, okay, and show people cool places and tell them stories. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. Now you know why I'm so happy all the time. Check this out. The camera does not do this justice, I'm sure. This is down. A whole bunch of down all at once. Look at this. Beautiful. Look how pretty it is. Looks like something out of a Norman Rockwell painting or something. Just run up through town real quick, just kind of show you a little bit about it. Show you a little bit of it. Got here's our first two stops. We've got two of them right together. I came to these first. The Mountaineer Hotel right there, and the coalhouse right next door, right beside of it. That's our first two stops. Our first stop. Okay. Now this is the old Mountaineer Hotel. Right there. Pretty, isn't it? But now this has been here forever. This has been here for many, 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 many years. A lot of famous people have stayed here. JFK stayed here. There's a famous picture of him standing right about right there. Lots of celebrities. They've got all of the rooms are named after different celebrities, you know, people that stayed in there and all that sort of stuff. But you know, it was pretty much the only hotel here back in the day. You know, if you came anywhere into this area, you pretty much had to stay at the Mountaineer Hotel because it's the only one. You know, there are no more. But so that's why it got so many celebrities, well-known people, that sort of thing. But it's actually very famous. There's a crystal chandelier inside there in the lobby, and it's one of a set of two. I forget where they were. I think they were Italian. I'm not sure about that. This was top of the line for West Virginia. Right next door, this is the coalhouse, built in 1933. Obviously says so right on the sign right there. Yes, it is actually made of coal. It really is made of coal. This is from they took the coal from the Winifred seam. It was, I believe if I'm not mistaken, it was the largest coal seam found in the area. And there's let's see. Yeah, Winifred seam coal, mined and donated by Crystal Block Mining Company, Lecky Collieries, Puritan Mine Corporation, Sycamore Coal Company, Winifred Block Coal. But it caught on fire. You imagine a building made of coal catching on fire. Just look at the architecture. I mean, that's beautiful, isn't it? Made from coal. And it's very light. It's also the Tug Valley Chamber of Commerce is housed here now. But that's the office in there now. You know, they have t-shirts, little gift shop, stuff like that. They're closed today, it's Sunday. But, you know, candles and little things like that. A lot of people that come in, you know, for trail information, you know, Hatfield, McCoy trail system, that sort of thing. You know, for local information, where to stay, where can I find this, that, the other. They'll come in here and, you know, ask questions and things. The courthouse is right next door to it. Let me get over here where you can see it. That is, let me get it out of the light, out of the sun just a little bit. That's better, right there. Now this is well, we call it the old courthouse, but it's the new courthouse. The old one, there was a big clock tower up on top of the old one. There's a jail up on the top floor now. They call it the old jail. The old courthouse stood here. I'm not sure what year they built this one, tore the old one down. Let's see if it's on the historical marker. It may be on the historical marker, but you can't tell. You can't read it. It's well beyond gone. The railroad something. That's about all you can read from it. But anyway, just thought I'd stop by here and show you that real quick. You can hear the train off in the distance, way down through there. But this was supposedly where Cap broke Elias out at. You know, you just imagine that, you know, the old West. You see that stuff, like I said, you see that stuff in the movies, but you know, you don't think it really happened. Well, guess what? It really did. That's just plain cool, isn't it? But that's the building now. That's what's there now. We'll go get to the Can-Am, and we'll move on to the next spot. Just thought I'd show you this one first. There's 3 of them right there together. The Mountaineer Hotel, the coalhouse, and the old courthouse right next to it. Flood wall. Not exactly historic, but it's cute, so we'll show it to you. They built this back in the 90s to keep the Tug River under control. Had a tendency to flood the town from time to time. Just show you this real quick. We won't be here but just a second. Just wanted to show you. Look at that little waterfall. The river going up through there. This is the Tug River, by the way. Beautiful little place. You can go down through here, go back down behind the flood wall, you know, fish and all that kind of stuff. Beautiful little place. Just a West Virginia mountain river. You know, if you like that sort of thing, like I said, if you like the outdoors, fishing, hunting, camping, you know, trail riding, whatever, hunting, all of it. This place is paradise. Okay, we got 2 right here. We have the train station right there, and another one right back here as well. But we'll do this one first. This was the old N&W. You know, I remember, you know, Mom saying that for a nickel, you know, she could ride all the way to Charleston, and that she'd ride up there to Charleston and just hang out for the day and ride the train back. You didn't go by road. You know, the roads were a mess. You know, just dirt and ruts and rocks and that sort of thing. The railroad, I think it was N&W or N&S, but it was N&W owned it when they more or less gifted the old depot building to the city, and the city now has the mayor's office in there, and CVB board. I was on the tourism board. I was on there for 3 years. They meet right there. So right here, a little bit of information about Williamson and the railroad, the N&W. It was N&W that donated, by the way. That's Wallace J. Williamson, the founder. I showed you the graveyard where he's buried at not long ago, as a matter of fact. But here's some of the older pictures and the roundhouse, and you can see, look at all the trains. Look at all of those. You don't see any now. You know, this was the heart of the billion-dollar coal field, they called it. And you can see some of the old passenger cars, you know, right there. That's what those look like, old steam engines, that kind of thing. There's Williamson, way back in the day. When we were up on Death Rock, we were back up this way, looking down toward that direction. A couple right here, and then we'll head over to the good one. Interesting one. This one is too, but you know. But there's a little bit of information about Williamson, how it got its name. It was a great big cornfield in 1890. It was an Indian village before that, and God only knows what before that. But there's the other side of it. I believe it might be the same thing. It is, same thing. Now there's the depot I showed you from up Death Rock. That's it right there, and the train yard going down that way. But now back in the 70s, this was all bars. It was Williamson Lunch, Eat Well Restaurant, it was a bar too, New Central Hotel, and that was the Phillips restaurant. It was a bar. You'll get a kick out of this one. The reason that there was so many bars right here in this one little tiny spot, in this one little bitty town in the bottom of West Virginia, was because of that building. Now, it's the old Mason building here. But this one here is the interesting one. Now this right here is the site of the old Avalon Hotel. Now you guys feel free to Google this if you want to. A-L-V-O-N. There was an apartment building right next door to it. But this is the side of the old Avalon Hotel. This was, believe it or not, it doesn't really look it, not that big. It goes back down, back down that way. This was one of the largest brothels on the East Coast. Yes, here in southern West Virginia. Yes, you heard that right. This was one of the largest brothels east of the Mississippi, if I remember reading this right. A lady named Ella Mae McCoy. Now, this was built in 1938. Ella Mae McCoy from, as in Hatfield and McCoy's. Yeah, she's one of those. She's, one of them. Mom used to say that we were related, but we're related to Hatfields and McCoys, so, whatever. But we knew that too. But she was really cool. She had, they say she had every cop for 70 miles on the payroll, But that right there was, how you have these boom towns, coal, whether it's out west, gold here, coal, whatever, brothels tend to follow. And that was one of them right there. That was a big one. The old Avalon Hotel. Google that. Now, this one is a unique one. They've got another hospital they built, back over that way. This was built back in, I'm thinking 1920s, something like that. I was actually born in here, and I was born in this very building. Kind of ironic, huh? But my grandparents, both of them, actually died in this very building. And I was actually born in this very building. So, I guess I just about had to come here for a quick stop, didn't I? That's the old Nurses College over there. I remember when I was a little kid, there was a little store right there. I remember skipping school, sneak up here and get candy. But the old hospital itself, the old hospital is said to be haunted. Now, Destination Fear, I'm sure y'all have heard of them. A whole bunch of these other, paranormal investigators have came here, and they swear to God this place is haunted. But check this out. There's a view over here of the town. Just a nice view. Parked over there. Got baby sitting there. But that one's the old Nurses College. I think that one was the Nurses College, and I'm not sure what that was. I'm not 100%. Heather knows more about them than me. She's actually into that sort of thing. She's done a little bit of that, and her and her buddies, they've done a little bit of paranormal investigating in here too, just for fun. Look at the town. How pretty is that view? That's kind of nice, isn't it? That's just part of the town. You can see way up there's Death Rock. That's where we started that this morning. Now, I don't know. Let me try to zoom in. And this, like I said, this is the old hospital. It's just a very imposing looking building, overlooking the entire town. It's one of them creepy looking places, haunted castle on the hill kind of thing. Awesome place. There's no crime here. There's, there's a few little dope heads, that kind of thing. You know how that is. That's everywhere. Pill heads are everywhere these days. But, there's no crime. There's no, racial tensions. There's none of this stuff here. This place is paradise. It's like that the outside world doesn't exist here. It's a fairy tale land with magical unicorns and junk. And you can ride them. They're free. I'm gonna load up and probably head on back to the house and let Heather go ahead and start putting the video together, and hopefully y'all liked some of it, show you my hometown, that kind of thing. Appreciate y'all coming along. Thank you for coming. Hope y'all liked some of it. Like we always tell you, feel free to subscribe, drop us a like, comment. If you'd like to say something else, we'll be more than happy to go find it. We'll go look it up and look up the history, all that sort of thing. But check that out, the whole top of that thing collapsed in. But anyway, thank y'all for watching. Appreciate it very much.